Hey, what's up? This KeyWielderOblivion. I haven't been active on my channel for a while, mainly because it was summer vacation. But that's not what this video is about. I just want to do a review for playing Nier Automata or Automata. But first I'll go into the review, and maybe some other video I'll do like a update on my channel or what I've been doing in the summer, which was a really fun, awesome summer. But now back to school time, back to college time actually. So let's get into it. So Nier, I was not expecting to play this game. Obviously, I'm not a reviewer channel, so I'm not gonna do an in-depth review of this game, like going into music and sound and voice acting and all that stuff. Mind you, all of that is well done in this game and I love it. The tone of this game is really awesome. So this is just gonna be like a peer review where you get to see normal casual players who don't play a game just to review it. But I'll give you my impressions on this game. So first, I did play the not the beta, the demo that they had before the game came out, and I absolutely enjoyed the demo, right? So I wasn't expecting to actually get this game, but I enjoyed it so much I was like, you know what, I have to get it. In addition to that, a few of YouTubers that I watch, aside from this channel, nothing to do with this channel, just some popular YouTubers that I like watching, they played this game and they loved it, so that also made me want to go out and get it. But I played the demo before I got influenced in all this stuff, and I didn't get influenced at all. But there are some things people, okay, so I know people don't know how to play games, and you have to learn how to adapt to a game. And I know that's obvious, like yes, every game you have to learn how to play it, but this game is not for everyone, in the sense that when you first play it, it doesn't give you the wow factor. I know normally the first initial playthrough should give you the wow factor, but it doesn't. And the entire time, okay, for people who've played this, and we already know there are five main endings. No spoilers here, by the way, guys. There are five main endings, and then A and B, those made me like the game, but they did not give me the wow factor. I finished ending A thinking, is this all the game has to offer? That would just leave me at like probably a 6 or a 7. And yes, those are good scores because the combat is good, and then some of the characters are really good when you get to play that. And as you should know, because this game has been out for months, but I'm not gonna do any spoilers. The main two people we play as, you get to play as each other, but it's still together, and you go through the same exact story for the first storyline and the second storyline. The problem with this is people tend not to try out and keep it going, as in like, if you're not feeling the game, most gamers would just quit instead of actually playing the game to the fullest and to the end point and then give their opinions. They would just pick up the game for a few hours, because each ending sequence, or each story arc, I guess I should say, in this game is about 10 hours long, leaving you with 30 to 40 hours of story content, right? So most players would just, if they're not feeling it for right now, they would just put the game down. They would give their opinions and say they don't like how something is like that. So I had this friend that I've been trying to get to play it, and I know he knows how games work and he loves games, and this is like that, right? But it's kind of like me trying to tell this person that this game is really awesome, but it's hard to tell someone how to enjoy this game without spoiling it. The most I could done in that situation, what I had to do was tell them, once they finished, he did finish ending A, I told him he's 1/3 of the story done. I haven't seen him touch the game in a while. So that's the problem with this game. It is a masterpiece, but you can see it in the trophies also. People barely get past ending A, and then when they find out that the playthrough for ending B is the exact same but as a different character, then that turns them off even more. It's not too much the exact same, but it has, like, it gives you a fresh new idea of what happened during this with this character while we didn't see them. So that's the best part of Arc B, I guess I would call it. So I really enjoyed this game. I would try not to put too much spoiler imagery in this review also. So let's get down to my impressions. I played ending A and ending B, and I got through it. I was like, come on, I'm trying to find out why people like this game so much. And those two endings didn't. Okay, first of all, ending A did not at all give me what I was expecting out of the game. And then B actually made me so hyped because like when you got to learn about the the different things that we fought in ending A, we didn't know much about them, but we got more underlying story depth that made them into like these characters that you should actually care for. And that's what ending B did. And then the last three endings, they just switched it up so much and it was so beautiful, and I just don't know how to explain it. But when you get a game, because this review is a review that's trying to make people go out and try this game, if you go out and try this game, you need to finish it to the complete max, because anything less, you will be leaving this game thinking this was not a great experience, which most of this game is, because I would say the first two arcs of the game, they're really great experiences, but they're not like people like me who like story content, you would not be that satisfied. If you're I also love gameplay. The way my preferences for games are is I need the gameplay to be good. I cannot play a game with bad gameplay, but if the gameplay is so perfect and then you have no story at all, I can't play the game, no matter how good the gameplay is. But if you have great story and the gameplay is mediocre or bad, I will still play that game 100% to the end. So that's how my preferences in games work. Give me a good story and the gameplay I really don't care about, but I still want good gameplay. But um, I like the story more. And a game that could give me both at the same time, like Kingdom Hearts, is always my favorite. Nier had this. They had the story and they had the gameplay down pat. And my other favorite game was The Witcher 3. They had the story perfectly, but the gameplay wasn't the greatest. But I played that game and I love it. So that's what I'm trying to say. For me, gameplay and is not as much or powerful as story. But the reason why I kept playing, so for you, if you're going into this game, yes, and the Arc A, you would love it. If you don't really like story content, then you will love Arc A. But if you're like me and most other people that wanted to pick up this game, you obviously love story content because you hear great things from this Nier series, spin-off of Jack and Guard and all that good stuff. You hear great stuff from the story, and you bought it to be immersed in this world through the story. And then that's where the disappointment comes in, but the gameplay makes up for it in Arc A. But if you are someone who just like gameplay in games, then Arc A would leave you satisfied as crap. You will be so satisfied. And another thing, in Arc B of the game, you get introduced to a new game mechanic where you hack and stuff like that. I hear people saying that was bad. They didn't like it. Man, I don't know. I just love mini games and like in games, mini games in games, and especially if they are included in part of the game, the actual gameplay. That's perfect. I don't understand why people keep saying that hacking was bad. It was good. I enjoyed it. I got frustrated. Some of the most frustrating parts of this game was the hacking, because like I love to be able to die in a game. I love to be able to have a hard time in a game, because a game that's too easy is just boring and it's not interesting at all. So another thing, you get some pods. The gameplay, I would say this gameplay is one of the best gameplay designs I've seen in any game, but it's not as good as Kingdom Hearts 2, but this is the next best thing for me. So I love the pods, the concept of the pods, and they're holding these special abilities and attacks for you, and passive fire and stuff like that that could aid in bringing down the enemy's health bars and stuff like that. And there's so many abilities that the pods have. It's crazy. The gameplay is fun and it will leave you occupied the entire time. You will never get bored of it ever. So if you're someone that loves gameplay, go for it. If you're someone that loves story, also go for it. But just remember, wait until you get to um the ending, but wait till until you get to arc B, where you get actual background information on the enemies you're fighting. And then after that arc, you get arc C, D, and E. You get some crazy story flip ups that's crazy and wonderful and it's so good. So this game is really not meant for everyone, and if you have two different tastes, you will go into this game with leaving arc A with certain expectations and enjoyment. Like I said, gameplay. If you like gameplay, you will love Arc A, and from Arc A, you would love everything else also. But if you like story, you'll have to wait until probably Arc B. But for me, the story kind of picked up more on Arc C, and then it just went crazy from there. And this got me into the Nier series, and I love it. I said I'm not doing music and voice and stuff like that. Um, I love the music. It's so awesome. One of my favorite music sounds come from this game. Of course, Sanctuary and Dearly Beloved and Simple and Clean Kingdom Hearts. Those are my favorite. But like this, I never had really any other songs from a game that I liked. But this song from this game, Weight of the World, in all three forms, the Japanese, the English, and Weight of the World in their own game language, because they created a language for the game and they have it in that language also. All three are perfect and I love it. And the true ending is just crazy. I love this game so much. I would say if you're a friend watching this video, go out and get it. Based on what I said for the different arcs, you would know where you would get your enjoyment out of. But no matter what type of gamer you are, if you complete this game, you will end up loving the game. No matter if you like gameplay or story, you'll still love it to the max. That's the end of this review for me because I don't want to go too much. And I'm not going too in depth. I didn't have a script. I didn't have anything. I just did it off the top of my head. If I were to rate it, I don't want to rate games anymore because I've seen some good reviewers that don't do on a rating scale. But I would say this game would be a 10. I would understand why people would give it a 9. The only complaint I had was this game is not a AAA game. So just remember, when the lip sync with the characters are so off, it's kind of annoying at times how bad it is. For certain parts of the game, it's so off and it really irritates me. But then I have to get back in my mind and say, okay, this isn't like a top-notch game like Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts where the voice acting is one-to-one, how you expect it to be. So if I cared, I don't really care about the lip sync. It does annoy me. If I cared about it, that would probably be the only thing that brought this score down to a 9 for me. 9 out of 10. But I would say 10 out of 10 and 9 out of 10. But if I were to do from other YouTubers I watch, like Game Ranks or other people that I watch, they do like buy, wait for sale, whatever, whatever. I would say buy. Not only is it 4 months after the release and I'm giving you this review now, the price didn't go down, it's still $60. I would still say buy. This is not a wait for thing. You can, but it's still a good game. If you get a good sale, of course get it, but you could go out and buy this and you'll enjoy it for the fullest thing. But just remember, you gotta play the full game. And that's all I have to say about this. It's really awesome. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And that's KeyWielderOblivion.
Shoo.